Welcome to the KidLit Deconstruction Zone podcast. In each episode, we'll mine children's books for tools to fill your author toolbox. Let's dig in.
In this episode, we are deconstructing graphic novels. Graphic novels attract readers because they combine the best of two worlds: emotional depth of storytelling and the immediate immersive power of visual art. A single page can communicate mood, motion, and meaning faster than paragraphs of text, while still leaving room for nuance and imagination. Even picture books and chapter books may feature a graphic format with panels to offer a visual effect that serves the story. Reluctant readers may find that the visual images in graphic novels make stories feel alive. Characters' expressions linger, settings breathe, and ideas land with both clarity and impact. Whether tackling fantasy, memoir, history, or quiet everyday moments, graphic novels allow readers of all ages to engage deeply, read actively, and experience stories in a way that feels both accessible and unforgettable.
Our first tool is write concise, impactful narration and dialogue. There's no doubt that visuals are essential in graphic novels, yet dialogue and narration supplement other story elements like internal thoughts or character voice, both of which are tricky to capture in art. Our picture book selection, The Wild Ones by Megan Losada and Jorge Losada, tackles the complex idea of gentrification. The story is about kids who ask monsters to save their apartment building from being bulldozed. Concise dialogue and narration strengthen both premises. Here's an abbreviated caption from the narrator sharing their motivations. The Wild Oaks is everything to us. It's where we belong. Later, punchy dialogue reinforces the kids' big emotions. Don't do this. Leave our home alone, end quote. Take note that the narrative captions and dialogue point the reader to key words that reflect the story's heart. That's exceptionally challenging for any writer. Here's your writing tip. Take narration and dialogue that tackles a complex emotional topic and pare it down to one or two brief sentences.
Our second tool is think visually. In graphic novels, art is the narrator. Storytelling occurs from panel to panel. For the young reader, art makes the story zoom, pause, and pop. Emotions can be felt through the pictures, which also drive the action. Our chapter book selection is Worm and Caterpillar Are Friends, with words and art by Kaz Widnes. In the story, Worm believes that being the same is key for being best friends. Here is a quote from the book. "Can we still be friends, Worm?" "Yes, I like you just as you are. Never change." End quote. However, throughout the book, Caterpillar points out their differences and embraces them. Caterpillar also notes that they can still be best friends, even though they are not alike. Through the use of visual clues with wonderful color palettes, thoughtful panel layouts, and expressive faces and body language, young readers pick up on the moods and action without relying on dense text. This makes for a great emotional storytelling experience. Here's your writing tip. Through visual cues and art notes in your manuscript, show feelings and action without using words. If your reader can understand the scenes you've created, they're thinking visually.
The third tool is direct scenes with sound. Onomatopoeia, or sound words, is one literary device that stands out in the art of many graphic novels. In prose, there are few ways to represent onomatopoeia, but in illustrations, there's curvy letters, spiky word balloons, and so much more. Today's middle grade book, The Story Spinners, a sisterly tale of danger, a princess, and her crew of lady pirates by Cassandra Fetterman, has plenty of onomatopoeia. The book's about two sisters who don't get along and eventually find common ground when they tell their baby sister the most epic bedtime story. The sounds in Story Spinners highlight cause and effect, land jokes, and show character moments. In this example, sisters Kennedy and Devon wrestle over a TV remote. Quote, pull, pull, yank, bling, and smash, end quote. Yikes. We can imagine that cracked TV screen in the aftermath. I also like how the words yank and fling capture motion while enhancing tension. The word choices work even if they aren't exactly what we'd hear in real life. So here's your writing tip. Try writing a scene's action using only onomatopoeia. As a bonus, highlight a funny or heartfelt moment.
For our YA graphic novel, we selected Who the F Are You by Hudafami to highlight our last tool, pacing and page turns. Pacing can adjust with panels that vary in number, size, and shape, while page turns can increase interest to keep the reader engaged until the end. Fami expertly takes you on an emotional journey where the main character discovers themselves and their friendships. With awkward buildups, the panels lead you to punchlines that punctuate the scene and page turns that enhance curiosity. When a classmate's radio is mistaken for a bomb, Huda and her classmate are called for a quote unquote routine screening. The scene is set up with punchy dialogue and minimal space between panels to heighten the anxiety of the characters. Here is an abbreviated quote. Where are we going?
To the school psychologist.
Wait, we have a school psychologist?
Why do they want to see us?
Just a routine screening.
End quote. The page turn reveals a singular illustration, allowing the reader to sit with the discomfort of seeing a lineup with only hijab-wearing Muslims and their brown classmates. As someone who has experienced frequent routine screenings at airports while wearing head coverings, that scene felt very familiar. So, if you want to take your prose to panel, try this writing tip. Take a few lines of text and direct your scene by considering the number and size of panels for your reader to slow down or leap forward. Also, imagine how you want your audience to feel before they turn the page.
Hey, KDZ friends. Check out our episode description for our show notes, websites, and amazing resources.
So there's a graphic novel writing class led by Teresa Robinson at the Writing Barn, a graphic novel writing checklist by Caden Phoenix on the Boyd's Mill blog, which was formerly the Highlights Foundation. And we have a fantastic collection of graphic novel resources over at KidLit 411.
Yeah, and if you've never thought of writing your story in a graphic format, check out our Goodreads bookshelf titles for this episode for more inspiration. Whether you're writing a picture book, YA, or something in between, grab your writing tools and get to work.
If you have any book suggestions for us to deconstruct in future episodes, please leave a comment below. Thank you for listening to the KDZ podcast, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.